Hey, what's up YouTube? This is your boy Kona Enthusiast. We're back with another video. So today I'm going to be talking to you all about the 2-year review of my Hyundai Kona N, how it is held up over the last 2 years. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. No need for an intro video. So as a lot of you know, I have put a lot of miles on my car. My car has been through a lot. Those of you who have followed the channel, some of the videos of what has happened has been taken down or just privated for the time being. But no need to discuss that too much. But basically, yeah, for 2 years I've had this car. Technically, December, the week of Christmas, made the 2-year mark for my car. Basically, I got a little behind in my scheduling for that, but wanted to still provide this video for all of you. I feel that my car is a good example for the Kona N community just because of how many miles I have, just to show, I guess, a good example of, you know, what you're going to go through in your ownership of a Hyundai Kona N or a Elantra or a Veloster N. So this past year, I did about 30,000 miles. This past year, maybe 28, 29. So far this year, I've done about 4,000. But anyways, neither here nor there. I've done a lot of traveling in my car. I've, you know, gone to in-club events. I've gone to different events in my other car club. I travel home and to different places. My original home is in Mississippi, so that's a, you know, 12-hour drive right there. So yeah, that right there adds a lot of miles on the car, a lot of wear and tear. So, but I do want to, I guess, first let's talk about the good about the car. So, honestly, the car has held up really well. I've had issues with fuel injectors, but honestly, that has been the only issue. So, aside from that, since I've gotten this car, I originally had the Pirelli P0 tires. I switched from that to the Continental DWS 06 Plus tires. That was at the 8,000 mile mark. I believe those tires lasted me to about 30,000 miles, if I'm not mistaken. And then from there, I had the Michelin Pilot Sport tires, and those lasted me, I want to say, from the 30,000 mark to about 50 or 55,000 mile mark. So I got about 25,000 miles out of those. And I'm now on the Firehawk Indy 500 tires, Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tires, and they're probably my favorite tires so far. Reason for that is, like, they grip really good. They grip, to me, in the wintertime better than the all-season, you know, Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. I mean, it's just crazy because this is a summer tire, but I feel like they grip pretty good in the wintertime. They're almost as good as the Continentals, and you get that really good traction for, you know, the hotter days and stuff. So I think it's a really good tire for the price. I do think the Continentals are superior to this, but I think, honestly, for a summer tire, it handles really well, and it does very good in inclement weather. But aside from that, some other things that I've had to do. So I had to get a second set of brakes recently. So these brakes on these cars, in my experience, have lasted me about 30,000 miles each. I've had to change basically brakes around that time frame. I think the second set lasted me 35,000. The first set lasted me 30,000. And then basically from there, what else I've had done? Of course, your oil changes. I have free oil changes, so I've always gone to the dealership. Of course, I do have to remove my JB4. I don't think the dealership would trip, but there's no need to taking a risk. And the only time I really trip about it is like if I have issues with the injectors, which those of you, again, who have followed the channel, you know I've had injector issues before the tune. It would happen twice, and it happened secondly after that. But we're going to discuss that a little bit more in a little bit. But anyway, so basically, when you look at the whole grand scheme of everything, that was the next thing that be done was, you know, the brakes. And then I also had to get brake flush the second time. I probably should have done it the first time. And then I had to get rotors the second time. The first time I just went with brake pads front and back. Second time I didn't really need brake pads for the rear, but the front needed brake pads, and then all four needed new rotors. I'm assuming that's probably the heat marks and stuff from me tracking it this past year. And if you haven't seen that, I can, you know, link that right there for you all to see. That was an amazing day. We're looking forward to getting some more track days this year, especially with this new tire setup I have. But yeah, so aside from that, some other things that I had to do, like I said, was the brake flush at that time. I got a fuel system cleaning, which I will recommend to you all. I know some people say it's, you know, it's a gimmick or whatever. My car has been driving better since then. I don't know if that's the sole reason, but I did upgrade the coil packs to the MSD. I did upgrade my spark plugs to the heat range 9. So that may play a factor into how my car's fuel system been doing better. But also, I do feel like if the dealer says, hey man, get the fuel system cleaned and done every 30,000 miles, then try to do that. Honestly speaking, some people may disagree with it, but yeah, so I feel like anything that you can do to help with your fuel system is just good at the end of the day, especially with a direct injected car, especially seeing that not only me but other people have had issues with fuel injectors, fuel pumps, whatever you want to put it as. So anything to help in the long run with that would be great. And so I did that, and then I did transmission flush. I got my transmission flushed probably about 10,000 miles or so ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And I did it right after my car broke down recently. So I got tires and I got transmission flushed. So I spent a lot of money lately, but it was around that time. 60,000 miles is when you know it's time to get the transmission flush, time to get the new brakes, all of that kind of stuff. So that's the thing with sports cars, it comes with the territory. I also upgraded my brake fluid to the Moto brand. I believe that's the brand that I used. I'll link that into the in my comments. But I used that right there. I did the high torque fluid just because I am running JB4. I am running more torque than stock. So I went ahead and did that so my transmission could still be reliable on track day. I'm not pushing 400 pound-feet of torque. That's the limits of this DCT, this wet DCT transmission. But I am pushing more than what factory calls for. And to me, it's a good deal because basically, dealerships want to charge me $300 or so to change the fluid. I got this fluid for like $60. The dealership charged me like, I want to say the one I went to charged me $140, so I didn't even spend $200 on that. So I saved $100, got that done. But yeah, that's pretty much been the gist of what I've had to do with this car. There's probably a couple other things I'm forgetting, but that's basically the gist of it. Just your typical oil change, your tires, your brakes, and then a couple other, severe maintenance things. Of course, you got your cabin filters. Those like $13 on Amazon. But yeah, so that's been what it's like to own the car as far as the maintenance perspective. Gas mileage has been better lately. I think part of that has to be with the coil packs, the spark plugs, the fuel cleaning, all of that as a combination. Speaking of fuel cleaning, I do recommend this right here. This is the Lucas Oil injector cleaner. It's basically upper cylinder lubricant, and I know some people do it every oil change. One of my friends, not oil change, every time they fill up. I'm not gonna do it that much, but I will do it. Try to track it like every 1,000 miles. I probably put it in the car. I also do the Lucas Oil fuel system cleaner, or not Lucas Oil, the Tech Run fuel system. It's made for GDI engines. I do that every time I get an oil change right there. So I'm doing things to try to help prevent. Of course, I may not do the whole 90,000 mile service for the fuel system since I'm doing this time. But if I do continue to have injector issues, and if I do happen to have the car at that time, then basically that's the next step that I would take with that. But going from that, yeah, that's what I recommend as far as the fuel system. Gas mileage has been great. And combine all of that, I've been averaging somewhere in the realm of 20 to 21 miles to the gallon around town with me speeding. I do know at one point I was getting probably about 20 miles to, or excuse me, about 18 or 17 miles to the gallon. I do think part of that is the JB4 tune that I have on the specific map that I'm on. So I'm on a custom map 6 tune. My friend Joel, I keep saying I'm going to post a video on it, but I will have that out for you soon. The weather's just been pretty sucky here, so I haven't really had a chance to get too many pulls in to kind of demonstrate how it does in that scenario. But we will have a POV drive hopefully next week. I think that's when the weather's going to be pretty clear. Right now it's sunny, but we have rain the rest of the week. So after that, I will be doing a POV drive of how that does with the map 6 tune. I'll explain to you what he did. But long story short, I think that helps the gas mileage because of how we have it tuned for those parameters for daily driving in a sense. But anyways, yeah, so car's been good. It's been majority, or for the most part, it's been reliable. I have had some crazy issues with one specific thing. And then I also have had issues with my axles. My axles went out at the end of 2022. It went out at the end of 2023. The second time I had to get both axles replaced. So I had to deal with one dealer saying, no, they can't do it. And then they ended up replacing it. The next one replaced it. So, yeah, that was pretty sucky to deal with, but the dealership covered everything under warranty. Pretty much every mechanical issue I've had with this car has been covered under warranty. And, you know, I know not everybody could say that, but I found a good dealer here in the Raleigh area. They've been amazing to me. They're amazing to pretty much anybody that I've sent to them. So I highly recommend that dealership, Johnson Hyundai of Cary. I know I'm not sponsored by them. Just want to let people know, if you want to be treated right, that is the dealership to go to. And it's mind blowing because that dealer, I mean, the volume of cars they have is probably, not over exaggerating, like 10 times the amount of cars. Another dealer that I bought this from, I would go there and it's probably 10 cars max in line to get their car serviced. This dealership is always like, I mean, both ways. It's just cars that has to be taken out, cars that be put in. So yeah. But anyway, so the issues that I have had, for those of you who have never watched my channel or have not seen the video since I've, you know, kind of put them off to the side for now, I had issues with my fuel injectors. They've gone out 4 times, the 4th time caused it a fire. So that is kind of where I'm like iffy about the car. I do love the car. I think the tech in the car is amazing. I love the digital screens, the big speedometer, the big middle infotainment screen. I do wish that we had a couple more features. You know, I do really wish we had radar cruise control. I do wish for a couple other things, but if I want that, I could just drive, you know, my girlfriend's car, drive Ronald to get those features. But yeah, a lot of those creature comforts that come with other Kona ends across the globe, we don't get in the US, so that's the downside. But I mean, the car is comfortable, it serves its purpose, has a good sound system for what it is. The power is great. I get 30+ miles to the gallon on the highway. I don't see anything wrong with this Kona end aside from the ejectors. That's really what I boil it down to for everybody. I think it's a good sized vehicle. I do wish it was a little bit bigger. I like that the new Kona end is bigger. But I can say that overall, like, this car has been really good to me aside from the ejector issues. And part of why I'm still with this car again is because I've had a great dealership experience with Johnson Hyundai. They've been really good to me, and I basically have just, you know, kept with the car until that point. But this leads me to something I really consider. So like I've told you all before, I am considering going to an Elantra end. I was really considering going with the Ioniq 5 end, more so than that, because I kind of thought about, all right, gas expenses, going to electric. Basically, in that case, I probably would be spending about the same amount of money as if I had an Elantra end with gas, or my current Kona end with gas. So I was like, okay, cool. In that case right there, Ioniq 5 end. But then I thought about it. I made a critical mistake when purchasing this car. And to me, that critical mistake is buying a car when it first comes out. Now, I know not every Kona end that first came out had issues with injectors, but I mean, in the Facebook group, it was like Kona end after Kona end after Kona end. And I mean, it's not to bash Hyundai by no means. I think it just may have been a bad batch of those. Same with the Elantra end. It wasn't like every single one of them. It's not even, you know, I wouldn't even say 10% of the owners that I know that have the early build models, but I know it was enough to catch people's attention. And you know, for the most part, people have had no issues after the fact with their injectors. I have continually have had issues with it, but it's not, again, to bash the car. The dealer has taken care of me. The car has been reliable aside from that one thing right there. And honestly, you know, it just kind of had me thinking, like, do I get the Ioniq 5 end? You know, I really want the Ioniq 5 end, but it's, you know, what I'm learning from the Kona is do not buy a car when it first come out. Let the first couple of months, even 6 months run out of production. You know, I mean, yeah, they don't have injectors in that car, but it could be things like battery cells, what have it. So I'm kind of hesitant with that. Now, I have considered the new Elantra end, that's, you know, refresh for 2024, and that's more than likely the car that I will be in the next, I would say, 3 months. So the Kona end, as you know, this will be probably one of the last videos that you will see. I do love this vehicle. I do want to keep it long term, but I do have a lot of miles. I am in a position now where I am working with my vehicle less. And I do have plans to just pretty much get a second vehicle at some point, either way I go. But I do have too many miles for me to be comfortable with. I've also had issues as far as fuel injectors, the axles, just certain things like that. It's kind of got me wanting to take a reset with this car. So I do have a lot of miles, which will mean I'll have to put a lot of money down on my next vehicle, or whatever else may just come up, a good opportunity for me to get into the Elantra end. But that's probably the vehicle I'll go with, simply because that has the same engine that's been out for a few years now. Really, it's been out for a while, but this variant of the ends motor with the bigger turbo, compared to the Veloster, that has been out for, you know, basically going on 2 or 3 years now. And essentially at that point, I feel like all mechanical issues should be worked out. It's literally just a refresh, front refresh rear end. The inside is just a new badge, just pretty much it. And you get new wheels, some, you know, chassis adjustments, things like that. I don't see being a mechanical problem. Like I said, Hyundai really backs up their customers with warranty if you can find the right dealer. So that is pretty much the plan of it. I don't regret buying this car by no means. I love this car a lot. It gets so many looks. I've kind of gotten over the Sonic blue color. I think it's great. It changes colors and stuff. But like, so many people give me compliments, even when it's like filthy dirty right now. Like my coworker just drove me for lunch the other day and he was just complimenting. I mean, it looked filthy. It was in broad daylight and he just loves my color. I was talking about my coworker / friend. She has a green Charger, and I mean, it's a gorgeous car. I know a lot of people hate Mopar, but the lime green color on the Daytonas look amazing. And he's like, yeah, man, but I like your Sonic blue more. So a lot of people are obsessed with this car. I get questions at the gas station all the time, questions, you know, just about anywhere I go about the car. So it's a neat factor. Aside from that, I really do like the car. I think it's comfortable. I love that you have the dual exhaust features, the options to quiet it down, make it louder with pops. You know, there is usable power for daily driving. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's usable right now with the JB4 tune, but you'll see pretty soon it picks up like a train now with this MAP 6 tune. So it's not exactly usable. I was even on the interstate about 30 minutes ago, had to get gas, and I mean, I was trying to do a couple quick pulls. I couldn't. I mean, it's just like I literally got through like 4th through 5th or 3rd through 4th, and at that point it was like I'm accelerating way too fast for the amount of traffic that's out there. But anyways, aside from that, like I said, I am loving this car. I highly recommend it to anybody that wants this car or the Elantra or the Velocity. They're all great cars. I pretty much have seen majority people have no issues in my in club and from other groups and other people that I've watched. But yeah, guys, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, this was just a quick update of what I think with the car. Like I said, I more than likely will be getting rid of it. I mean, we'll see how things change in the next couple months. I may change my mind because I do want to partially keep it. Lastly, I forgot to mention this. Part of that is just, you know, I'm looking at the future. I'm a forward thinker instead of somebody who thinks about right now. Nothing against people who do that, but I'm realizing, you know, I'm settling down, and, you know, pretty soon I'm going to need a bigger vehicle. Realistically, I cannot fit a baby seat in his back seat. I don't think I'd be able to. Also, on top of that, you count the fact that, you know, my trunk isn't that big. I don't even know if a stroller would fit back there. Just things like that that I think about, or constantly having people in here and the car could be bigger. So that's part of why I've kind of considered the Elantra more. Has better back seat space by a long shot. The trunk is longer, but I think as far as height wise, I want to say, as far as height, I want to say, like, obviously it's not the same as what this would be with this being an SUV. So anyways, yeah, so that's the thing with that right there. It's just basically trying to, you know, get something that's bigger, but it's still sporty. And I think the Elantra is a great fit regardless for, you know, starting families, things of that sort. A little bit better than the Kona, and definitely better than the Velocity. No offense. If you have a Velocity and you have a kid, good luck, because I cannot imagine dealing with a third door missing. I love the design, but from a family perspective, you only have one side to put the kid in consistently. I guess it helps with consistency, but anyways, aside from that, kind of rambling at this point. Aside from that, yeah, that's a lot of reasons why I do want to go to the Elantra. And like I said, this will probably be, you know, one of the last couple of videos, or I'll probably have a good bit more, but this is going to be kind of the ending sequence as I get ready to transition into another vehicle that will likely be the Elantra, whether that's used or brand new. We'll see how things play out for me. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you for supporting me all through 2022. After me buying a car all through 2023, I really respect everybody that's came to me in the comments. Everybody's been, for the most part, very respectful. People reach out to me and stuff, so I'm really grateful for you all. We're pushing towards, you know, basically in the channel bigger and bigger day by day. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate the support. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you click on that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post videos to the channel or any kind of community post that I make. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is ic_Kona_in. I really appreciate you again for watching this video, and I hope you all have a good one.